Welcome to Taking Care of Business with Freddie Fix-It Santori as they bring the power of AMP2.TV video format to the radio. Today's show will have interviews and concepts that bring you, the public, closer to how real radio and television work hand in hand to bring the best platform to sell your business. Tune in on the WWNNradio.com website or follow AMP on AMP2.TV website to see radio.
Welcome to this week's Taking Care of Business. On this January 19th edition, we want to thank our listeners locally on WNNN 1470 and those nationwide on AMP2.TV. I know what you're thinking. I'm not Freddie Santori. But in remembrance of Dr. Martin Luther King Day, Freddie Santori had a dream too. His dream was to be in Key West on vacation, so now I'm in charge. And let me introduce myself. My name is Corey Mitchell, and on today's edition of Taking Care of Business, we will be speaking about the importance of college radio to businesses. Now, before I get into this, let me give you my background. I'm a current Florida Atlantic University student as a former station manager of the college radio station, and I can give you firsthand experiences and testimonies how reaching out to student bodies and student organizations is one, more cost efficient, and two, more effective way to reach your targeted audience if that target audience is college media. So moving on to things, I want to start off by telling you college radio and all college media is a complete 180 of what you see public. You have the big companies, you have your big prints, you have the New York Times, yada, yada, yada. I could go on, rant and ramble, but all that is just wasting time. And I want to tell you how we're different. For one, we offer a nostalgic feel of radio. When it comes to college radio, we're not putting on content to satisfy ratings or to satisfy sale goals. We put on content that's for the students, by the students, that is pro-expression. And if you're a business out there, this is what you're looking for, because if you're trying to manage and maneuver in a niche market, it'll be extremely difficult if you don't know where that market is located. Whereas if you're involved, if you're in tune, or if you just have a idea of any college media or any college events going on, that gives you the heads up. And this is also beneficial because, let's put it like this, not every company has the financial resources to flood I-95 with 10 billboards. Not every company have the financial resources to put in a full-page ad in the Sun Sentinel or the Miami Herald. This right here, being able to talk and communicate interpersonally with college students is, for one, cheaper, and two, leave a bigger impression. Who remembers while you're a kid growing up, mom and dad would say, hey, the best relationships are the best friendships are the ones done face-to-face. I remember when I was a kid, nothing was sealed until you had a handshake. So let's take that concept and transfer it into a business sense. How can you reach college kids, or how can you get to your target demographics if you're not in tune with them, if you're not where they're at, if you're not proactively trying to reach them? Think about that. So while you ponder, I'm going to give you an answer to help those problems. Use college radio. Use college media. Again, for one, no content means you get to know what kids are into, what sounds, what's the new hip, what's the new text, what's the new gadgets and gizmos. You get to stay up on the trends. I know a lot of us users use Facebook and Twitter, but don't even know what a favorite button is. I'm guilty, but I'm young. What's your excuse? To fix that, why don't you become in tune with these college kids? Enough of radio, let's talk about college print. Yes, we try to break stories. Yes, we want to, in the perfect world, be the groundbreaking journalism that you've seen in the old classic Citizen Kane. But in reality, that's not a virtue, and that's never going to happen. In college radio, to a degree, we know our limitations. So instead of splurging our money, instead of trying to compete with bigger markets, the ABCs, the Fox, the MSNBCs of the world, we tend to be very essential and you be very resourceful and focus on what's important to us, whereas how many students are enrolled here, how many students are taking this club, how many students have protested against XYZ. You don't get that from the Sun Sentinel. Why? Because they have more important stuff to worry about. But you don't have to worry about that because you're trying to get to the college demographics. So right here on Taking Care of Business, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. But before I go, I want you to call in, give your personal testimonies, or if you have a business and you want to reach a demographic, please call in and let me help you. Again, the number is 888-565-1470. Again, it's 888-565-1470. We're here on WNNN 1470, and I'll see you right after the break.
Times are tough, and right now those in the commercial world know that being heard via advertisements is the name of the game. AmpSquare.tv understands how important advertisement is and is proud to express that it's truly the only plugged-in internet television production company on the market. Amp2.tv live streams all their shows across all the major selling markets in the U.S. and abroad. Call them at 866-224-5422. The AmpSquare.tv library allows productions to be seen over and over again, making commercial platforms more usable. Call 866-224-5422. Toll free 866-224-5422. Amp2.tv, the first and only internet television network that's truly plugged in. 866-224-5422. That's AMP2.TV. You are listening and watching Taking Care of Business, powered by Amp2.TV, as your host brings you new concepts using radio and TV together, forming a powerful platform for business people in all areas. You have a question or comment? Call in 888-565-1470, and our host will provide ideas to bring your business to life. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to Taking Care of Business. Your host, Freddie Santori, is on vacation today, and I'm Corey Mitchell filling in. As I mentioned before the break, we're talking about the importance of college media and how it's beneficial to businesses who wants to connect with the young and college demographics. Before we went into the commercial break, I was speaking of how it's financially and very resourceful to seek alternative routes of media, alternative ways of reaching and interacting with people. Yes, we all know Twitter, we all know all the social media sites, but who is following you? How many college kids are you reaching? And I don't want to be the guy who has a conversation with a friend who just explained to me he spent 10, 50, higher amount of dollars trying to reach a demographic when I was there to help him. So as I like to help that person, let me help you. Going back to the field of college radio, one thing that also stands out, the student body. The student body at most college universities in the state of Florida is roughly somewhere north of 15,000 students and could peak around 80, 90,000 kids. Now, if you're a business and you want to reach those people, you go to a major radio station, ask for the numbers, and let's say the sales guy will get back to you with, who knows, $5,000 for a 2-week ad, $10,000 for a 2-week ad. What if I tell you can reach 30,000 college kids for $200? I can tell you because I know it's factual. At Florida Atlantic University, the sales department for their magazine, University Press, charges less than, I want to say, $250 to get a full page ad, and it will be cycled amongst 30,000 kids. Let's say if you're a club promoter, you have a big party, you want the who's of the college town there. Do you want to spend $10,000 and go to a 99.1 or 103.5? Or do you want to spend $20 and get a 15-second promo that airs for 1 week? Let's think about the numbers. And I know not all of us is as financially responsible, but part of being successful is learning how to spend wisely. To that point, I encourage everyone to call in at 888-565-1470. Again, it's 888-565-1470. I want you to call in so I can give you feedback on your own personal testimony. Speaking of that, while I was station manager at FAU Radio, I actually had to reach out to my demographics. Yes, being a radio station, you would think, hey, radio, you get to be in everyone's car stereo. With today's technology, I get to be in everyone's apps and all that stuff. But hey, that doesn't cover all the bases. We have a television station called OWL TV. You know what I did? I'll tell you what I did. I put together a Valentine's Day party. I had a R&B singer come in, and it cost me $30,000 to book him. And I figured, $30,000 to impress some college kids. My work was done. But no, it wasn't. How can I impress those kids if my message wasn't distributed appropriately? How can I put on a great show if nobody knows about my show? Again, excuse me, we have Carla on the way, and our producers is a little out of my ear here. But again, how can I be successful if I didn't cover all my means of success? By means of success, I mean all media outlets. So me being a radio station, I reached out to the television station, paid $250 for a 30-second commercial airing for 1 month that reached all the college kids. And let's just say, I filled an auditorium that holds 5,000 people with 7,500 people. Please don't tell the fire and the martial law against me, but hey, I'm just using my resources efficiently. And now we have a John calling in. And John, talk to me. Tell me about your problem.
Hey, John. I just recently started a small business that really just seems to not be taking off because I can't get my name out there. And it's really tough to promote the brand. It's generally catered towards college kids, but, billboards and other such things are way too much for media advertising.
Okay, John, quick question. Not to get into your pockets by any means of the imagination, but how much money do you have in your advertisement department to promote your product?
Realistically, at this point, I'm so small I don't even have an advertising department.
Okay, I'll tell you one thing, John. You can go to the Sun Sentinel, as I mentioned earlier. You can go to the Palm Beach Post. And I've heard the cheapest means of advertisement through a media outlet is through billboards. And I can assure you it costs $9,000 to be on a billboard for 1 month. And yes, you're going to catch some eyes. Yes, somebody's going to find out about your product. But how is that helping you if it isn't your college-based, I guess I wouldn't say formatted product? I don't really know too much about your product, but I'm trying to stay real theoretical so I could answer your question without getting too in depth. And if you don't have a sales department, if you don't have what you need, college radio, college TV, college print is way to go. These organizations, they ask money not to pay employees because those who are in college radio, they are volunteering and they are doing it because they have a passion. They're asking for the money just to get minimum things such as T-shirts, hats, any promo items to raise awareness for themselves. So when they ask for money, they're not trying to pay a company. They're not trying to cover 401 benefits. They're not trying to cover somebody's vacation or company salary. They're charging for their necessities, so you know what you're paying is going to be a fraction of the price, John. I hope that question answered, I hope my answer answered your question. And to move on, I'm going to talk about all the great individuals who started from college radio and all the companies that benefited from college radio. Again, if you want to call, the number is 888-565-1470. And thankful for those who are watching us online at amp2.tv. Again, we're going to go to a commercial break, and we'll be back with more Taking Care of Business after this.
Hello, my name is Taylor Ash, and I am the owner of Calypso Salt and Soap. Each batch is handcrafted by me, and when I started, I really didn't want to make just ordinary looking soap. I'm pretty artistic by nature, so I wanted my soaps to reflect me and be artistic looking as well. In my soaps, I use all natural colors and oxides as well as micas, and that creates the beautiful colors and effect in each batch. Each batch is completely unique and no two batches are alike. My soaps each have special recipes of olive, coconut, cocoa butter, shea butter, mango butter, castor oil, and a few others that make each bar creamy, thick with bubbles, and they don't get mushy in water. This makes for a really good hard bar that's long lasting. Along with all these oils, I've added essential oils, which make them very good for you too. Things like lavender or lemongrass, even things like activated charcoal added to the bars, very good for your skin. I've tried my hand at Renaissance fairs here in Florida, and the outcome was amazing. People loved my product.
Don't forget to come out to the Florida Renaissance Festival at Quiet Waters Park on Powerline, February 7th through March 15th, and meet Taylor Ash in person, surrounded by all of her beautiful soaps. That's February 7th through March 15th. You're listening to Talk Legal with Jeff Van Treese, who brings you all the latest news in the legal world. If you would like to ask a question or share a story on the air, please call toll-free 888-565-1470. Once again, that's 888-565-1470. Now, back to Talk Legal with Jeff Van Treese. You are listening and watching Taking Care of Business, powered by AMP2.TV, as your host brings you new concepts using radio and TV together, forming a powerful platform for business people in all areas. You have a question or comment? Call in 888-565-1470, and our host will provide ideas to bring your business to life. Now, back to the show.
See what she's doing.
Welcome back to Taking Care of Business. Again, on this January 19th edition, I told you at the top of the show that Freddie Santori had a dream to be on vacation in the Key West. And let me tell you, that dream is short-lived. I got a text message saying, "You're ruining my show. I'm rushing back. I have to save the day." Welcome, Freddie.
How are you, Corey? Corey, you're not ruining the show. Actually, I saw what you were doing, and I was a little bit excited about some of the things that you were talking about. I want to put AMP at FAU Radio. I want to put commercials up there. Everything about the pricing you're talking about, that stuff is phenomenal. Phenomenal.
The best part about the pricing is you get more bang for your buck, Freddie.
You do, because I know what it costs to do this operation here. I know what it costs to put commercials up. I know what it costs. We do 52 different shows.
Let me give you another benefit with using your money through college media outlets to advertise. Those outlets that I mentioned, TV, print, radio, they all do, I can't say they all, 95% of them do their own events to raise their own exposure. When you're investing or put money in advertising with a college group or college brand, you know and you are aware that that brand is also being proactive within the student body. They're also being proactive within the organization because they want people to know they exist. So you know that, hey, if I put money to this college group, they're going to be proactive for themselves, which in return will help me. Whereas if you put your money into one of those big billboard or big high money corporations, they're already established. They're just going to take your money and continue to collect. They're not worried about improving and managing their brand like a college radio station would be.
Well, that's right, because that's a skin-to-skin concept. What you want to do is you want to be able to take a product where you have X amount of students, 30,000, I think is the number you use, and you're going to take your product right to the skin. You're going to endorse it out there. It's not billboards. And it's funny because the way a billboard works, you got 7.8 seconds to see a billboard before you drive by it, unless you're stuck in traffic.
If you're on 95, it's more like 3.5 avoiding those crazy drivers.
Well, you see it from a distance. But the bottom line is, in society today, the shakers and the bakers are the younger crowd. And what you want to do is you want to be in contact. I never knew that was the numbers to FAU. I was shocked. I said, I'm going to come out here and ask Corey because I want more information. How do we get, if I wanted to put an ad at FAU, how do I get there? What do I do? Who do I call? Do I call you?
You can call me. However, I'll just be a middleman. If you want to advertise with college radio at FAU, take down this email, listeners. I'll give you a second to grab a pen. It's owlradiostationmanager@gmail.com. For TV, allradiotvmanager@gmail.com.
So they do television product as well.
Yes, sir. They offer a wide variety of each medium. At FAU, they have a student media department, and that department is there to foresee the unity and continuity between advertisers between the three outlets, and to have the unity and continuity between the three outlets in itself to make each area of media more profitable, more prestigious, so outside advertisers would want to come in.
Right.
I'm letting you know that these student organizations, I know some businesses get scared off when they ran by 21-year-olds, but trust me, these are, like you say, the mover and shakers. These are the future. These 21-year-olds are doing this to put on their resume to show, hey, I succeeded, I did this and that. With that being said, these 21-year-olds want your money just as bad as you want their resources. They need your money to survive, to put on more events, to raise exposure for your commercial and for themselves as well.
That's right. So it's a dual effort. What kind of programming does FAU Radio do? What kind of programs do they have? Like WNN does Health and Wealth. We do everything across the board. 740 sister station, they do all business. What does FAU offer in terms of product?
The benefit about FAU and majority of all college stations is their open format. We're not strictly news. We're not strictly top 40. With that open format, between 8 to 10 every day, there's a news show that's being broadcast. And it's open format with the time block, I would say. So if you want to hear sports, every day, Monday through Friday, 4 to 6, it's going to be sports. If you want to hear country, 6 to 8 country, etc., etc., with that is there in place for advertisers. If you want to promote, let's say, a Kenny Chesney concert happening, you don't want to put it on during a sports show. You don't want to put it on during business talk. We have a format for you. If you want to advertise, hey, we're the Florida Panthers, we having a hard time filling the upper deck, we have a sports show for you. You don't want to put it on during the metal hour. And that's in place to help advertisers. The spot format is not for the students, because if the students had their fair training, they would put on anything. It would be all over the place. It is set up and organized so sponsors and potential advertisers can know my product is being placed to the demographic I most certainly want to reach. And you're not wasting your money, because you know what audience will be listening and you know where your money will be going.
Yep. I mean, it seems like they have, it's a school of institution of learning. So I guess they're teaching you the finer points of what works in business, and they let you be creative at the same time. It looks like they have multiple venues on the station, whether it's sports or music or whatever. It's an AM station? What's the call letters and the numbers? Do you know the numbers? Do you still remember them?
Speaking for FAU, I do know the numbers. We are currently not on the dial. We haven't raised enough money to buy a signal. However, we are internet based. And if you're familiar with Boca campus at Florida Atlantic University, there's a passageway known as the Breezeway. And if you're a student, you have to walk through that breezeway one way or another to get to your classes. And in that breezeway, there's a set of speakers playing only OWL Radio. So we make sure we reach every student on campus. And with the growing number of technology, we're on every major app. A lot of people don't listen to the dial anymore in their car. They play music through an auxiliary cord using a Pandora or an iHeartRadio app. We're on those stations, and we're on even more. So we're being essential with our costs. Yes, we can save up $500,000 to buy a signal that only reach 20, 30,000 people, or we can perfect our content and keep up with the times and use other technology that lets us connect to the world.
Right. Well, it's interesting because, AMP does internet video. And this is what you're looking at right now. And this is on the radio network today, on the BC network that they have. So we do internet stuff as well. We don't do internet radio. We have the ability to do it. We chose to go with regular radio, and we carry signals all the way where some of us work at other stations, And
let me ask you that, Freddie. You do this because it was cost efficient, correct?
That's right. If you were to go to a television or radio station and do what we do, you would pay maybe 4 times the amount of money that we charge. And we do it because we decided to shrink the amount that it takes to put those shows together. So that's correct. We did it as a cost-efficient savings to still get the bang and the buck, but you get more. You get video, you get YouTube, social media. We were just having a discussion. We do international radio. I have stuff in Georgia now, Boston. And all these shows are carried all over the country.
And as you may know, listeners of Taking Care of Business, Freddie Santori is the founder of AMP2.tv.
That's correct.
You just heard.
But I didn't create it, but I found it. My son created it. I sell it.
Oh, he makes sure he's covering all ends there.
That's right.
And as a business owner, Freddie, you have spent money for promoting yourself and your product.
Absolutely.
And how much do you think money has gone to waste promoting your product for a high-end billboard or a high-end radio station?
Well, we actually thought about doing a billboard, and instead of doing that, we invested the money in new cameras, new technologies on software. I'm going to tell you something. A billboard would cost you $6,000 a month to run. We have the numbers of placements along 95. We decided to go a different route.
And I know we have to wrap this up. Our producers in our ear. I'll leave our listeners for Taking Care of Business with this last nugget. If you are in the South Florida area, meaning our listeners who are dialed in on 1470 WNNN, $6,000 is more than enough to cover a year time of advertisement on the print at FAU, full-page ad, 30-second commercial playing every day on the television and radio station. I can't give you the exact number, but I'm certain it's less than $6,000. So I want you all to think about that. $6,000 for a month or $6,000 for a year?
Big difference.
All successful businessmen knew how to manage and, be efficient with their money.
All right, good stuff.
That's
good
it for today's edition of Taking Care of Business. I wish Freddie stuck to his dream and been on vacation, but I appreciate he coming back on air and barging in. Again, this is Corey Mitchell. Have a good night.
You have been listening to Taking Care of Business, powered by AMP2.tv. You can reach AMP2.tv by calling 866-224-5422 and join the AMP2.tv radio TV network. We give you all the tools you need to have your own show, both on radio and TV, and bring new energy and ideas to the business you're trying to promote. If you want to be a leader in new concepts and make your business number one in the area, AMP2.tv has the platforms to get you there. 866-224-5422 is the number to get you started. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not